I think the needlepoint world needs more interesting projects. Not harder ones, just more interesting ones. Because once you've made the stockings and the ornaments like I have, you find yourself wondering, what's next? What can I make next? What else is there? And it's intimidating to start these projects. The stitching is one thing, but the finishing is really intimidating. What I didn't know when I started all of this is how expensive and time-consuming professional finishing is. So while there are lots of other finishing ideas, it's pretty scary to spend all of that time stitching and then be scared that you're going to ruin it if you don't know what you're doing and you make a mistake and you get in a fight with your sewing machine or something. So I wanted to find something that was like a good entry level to like practice finishing. Now I've been finishing a few things quite successfully, in fact, but I get it. I wanted to find something that would be less intimidating and a good starting point for someone who's like keen but scared, because finishing is the thing that stops people before they even start. It is so intimidating and it's so expensive if you want to get a professional to do it. So how can you learn? I have the perfect thing. It's these are needle puff. Needle puffs. Maybe they're needle puffs. They're needlepoint earmuffs, and I stitched them. Look at that. And the fur around the edge gives you the perfect forgiving edge to stitch, maybe make a few mistakes, and it won't really matter. And it's a great little start to get started. I want projects that feel a bit modern, a bit fresh, and things that you'd actually use, but things that also don't feel like a massive commitment and not too scary to self-finish. And then one day, I was out on a walk, and it was freezing, and my ears were absolutely numb, and I was thinking about my Christmas village because, of course I was, and I thought, I need earmuffs. And then I stopped and thought, wait, I could make needlepoint earmuffs. Once I got home and actually looked at this properly, it started to make a lot of sense. Turns out these are the perfect size. They're 4 inches across, which is already a really standard size in needlepoint. This means that this isn't just some weird niche idea that Phoebe's doing on a crazy day. This is actually something that works with charts that people already have. And then I realized the fur makes this even better because it's so forgiving. Even if your finishing isn't perfect, no one will ever know. And if you've ever wanted to try finishing something yourself but felt intimidated by doing it properly, this is just such a safe place to start. The chart I used is one that I've created, and I've used it in the past to create these ornaments. So I'm literally just reusing this that I already have. But you can download the whole bundle of the alphabet that I created for free. It's PDFs and Stitchly files, and Stitchly is just like the best app ever if you're doing needlepoint. So if you don't already have Stitchly, it's just way easier with that. But it just shows you how useful these charts really are, because I just made them for ornaments, and here I am stitching it for an earmuff too. Who knows what I'm going to do with it next? Now you may be thinking, I don't really want to be like painting a needlepoint canvas, and to that I say, me either. I really dislike painting the needlepoint canvases. So I specifically designed this in a way that would be quite simple, and I can paint these canvases in less than 5 minutes. Let me show you my little trick to doing it really quickly. So like counting out all of the stitches is like such a pain. I feel like my eyes go like crazy when I do it. So it's just not my idea of fun. So this is what I do. Fold it in half both ways to find the center, because I'm not counting the stitches across to find the middle. No, thank you. So folding it in half both ways, you're gonna get pretty close. That's good enough. There's the center. Then just start to draw out the letter. And you've only really got 2 colors. You've got the color of the letter, which isn't that many stitches. And then there's the shadow, which is also pretty easy. And side note on the shadow, it's actually a very good one to use like scraps of thread that you might have, because you really don't need a lot for that shadow. So if you've got like a tiny bit of something, that's a good place to use it. But then once you've done that, you've got the letter, right? So what about the circle? Here's my trick. Get a ramekin and just trace around it. And isn't that close enough? And I'm sure there would be people who poo-poo this strategy, but it works for me, and I'm a busy gal just trying to get some stitching done, you know? So this is how I do it, and it works fine. So once you've drawn the circle, you've basically got your chart ready to go. And that's it. Perfect circle, 30 seconds, no counting, no stress. That is what you call efficiency. So from there, it's just stitching. You can keep it really classic or you can make it fun and make your own design. And this is where it's nice knowing that there isn't a right version of it. You can do what you want. So for finishing, I kept this really simple. I still did cut out a piece of card. This is the mat board that I like to use. I'll leave it linked below. And then I used it in the way that you would typically finish an ornament, where you sort of pin down around the edges. So what I've learned from self-finishing quite a few ornaments and figuring it out myself and making a ton of mistakes is you need to fold this over the cardboard fully so that you can still see stitching on the side of it, and ideally even a little bit folded over underneath it. That's just going to give you that safety net. So what I tend to do is add at least 2, but sometimes 3 or 4 stitches more than I think I need when I've stitched the whole thing, just to have excess and to have like that safety net. And that means that when you get to this stage, when you're folding it over, you've just got a bit of leeway. It's important at this stage that if anything looks wrong, you have to fix it now. Continuing on will not remedy an issue here. It will just make the issue worse. So don't rush through if there's something that's not looking right. That's another mistake that I've made. But with this one, I didn't. And this is what I did. So I put it on the cardboard to get that shape and to fold all of the pieces over. But now it's in that circle, I'm going to take the cardboard out because I actually don't want it for this finish. You might have noticed that the earmuffs are a bit puffy. So we don't need to put any extra thing on that. We're going to sort of lean into that puffy shape a little bit. It's going to help like fill it out. So what I did was I then took the cardboard out because we know we've folded this in a perfect circle and used that cardboard to sort of set those folds. And then I've gone back in and re-clipped it. So now we've got the perfect circle clipped and ready to go, but there's nothing else in there. So if you were making an ornament, you'd have some batting and you'd keep the cardboard, but for this, we don't need it. So the next thing that we do is invisible stitching, but with any kind of finishing thing like this, just take it slow. It's literally 1 stitch at a time and you will get there. And just, this is where you focus on perfection, because the more effort you put into it, the better it pays off, because this is the bit that you look at. Now, I'll be honest, my stitches here are not as tight or perfect as they would be on the ornaments that I've made or even on my Christmas village, but it doesn't matter. The fur hides everything. And honestly, I think if you were a bit brave, you could maybe even try gluing it, because this project doesn't demand perfection.
And that's kind of the point. This is needlepoint that you can actually wear. This is the kind of needlepoint project that I want more of. I want things that feel practical, that feel fresh, that feel modern, that feel so flexible to make like whatever design you want and like have your own personality, but not intimidating. Like, I believe that everyone can get into self-finishing. It's not that hard. You just need to have an opportunity to practice. And I think this is it. And if you make needlepoint earmuffs, I want to see them. Even if they're messy, even if they're bad, that's part of the process. Even if you make bad ones, they're going to be better the next time. So you're starting somewhere. So I want to see them. So please share with me if you do make them. I really want to see them.